I've got secrets. Dark, twisted secrets. I really do. There were 9 or 10 hidden videos, completely buried by grown men. They had to hit play and he just soaked it in. We were right there in bed. I would whisper things, pretending like the footage actually appealed to us. Honestly, I've watched that one. Wait, you saw it? Yeah. How positive are you? Completely. Hang on a second. We need to pause right here. No, we already have it. I'm not deleting a single thing. My private photos are on there. I know. Look, here's the plan. We just keep talking like normal. I can't get those pictures out of my head right now. This is beyond embarrassing. I'm going to jail tonight. Back in November 2022, federal agents busted Megan Ann Evans, a 35-year-old mother from Midburgh, Florida. Her husband, Brandon Paul Smolinski, was already locked up. A quiet suburban street, hiding an absolute nightmare inside. Before we go further, if this true crime story deeply disturbs you, leave a comment below and subscribe to the channel. Some secrets are too sick to stay hidden. It all started when the Putnam County Sheriff's Office caught wind of 5 files containing illegal child exploitation material. Someone shared them through a social media app. And the craziest part, those files were sent straight from inside the Putnam County Jail. Detectives quickly tracked down the source, Brandon Paul Smolinski. He worked for a transport company operating right inside the facility. But things got much darker from there. Police discovered his home internet was also actively uploading illicit child abuse files. He was spreading this horror far beyond the jail walls. When investigators finally gained access to Smolinski's phone, the case took a far darker turn than anyone expected. What had seemed like a routine distribution bust quickly escalated after they discovered disturbing chat logs between Smolinski and Evans. The messages revealed deeply inappropriate interests and alarming discussions that suggested plans to harm minors. This evidence transformed the investigation into something far more serious and urgent, highlighting the danger both individuals posed. This wasn't just some disturbing online fiction. On October 28, 2021, Smolinski and Evans were recorded discussing plans to harm specific children. They outlined steps to manipulate and exploit vulnerable individuals. Their conversations showed clear intent to create deeply harmful and illegal content involving minors. But the ultimate smoking gun came next. Evans actually sent Smolinski a horrifying photo she took herself, showing the abuse of a child she had direct access to. Imagine the ultimate betrayal. A caregiver documented the mistreatment of a vulnerable child, someone who trusted her completely. In newly viral police interrogation footage, Megan appears to deflect responsibility, insisting her actions were driven by a desperate attempt to hold her marriage together. Federal evidence exposed the absolute truth. Chat logs, photographs, the twisted plans they mapped out, none of it could be denied. Agents tracked addresses, dates, and times. They pulled logins, cell phone, IP addresses, and home networks, geolocating every single move using advanced forensic tech. Investigators served subpoenas and court orders. Kick Messenger came back with multiple files that were directly uploaded by Brandon himself. Wait a second. He uploaded these files using his home internet, using his personal cell phone. Let me ask you this. When was the last time you saw these? Honestly, he showed me some stuff last fall. It caused some major issues between us. Were they pictures, videos, or something else? They were videos. Okay, videos. What exactly did those videos show? How old do you think the kids were? Probably 9 or 10 years old. And what? Grown men getting targeted by other grown men? What exactly did he confess to you about all that? Like the fact that it actually turns them on, yeah? And that he genuinely enjoys it. So he likes the thrill. How did things escalate from there? Honestly, part of me is just purely curious. How does a relationship suddenly take such a terrifying turn? I mean, I get that people have their own taboo issues and strange habits in private, but I think the vast majority of us would absolutely agree that child imagery is completely off the table, right? How did he ever reach a point where he thought that was acceptable? I really still do not know. So where were you the first time he showed it to you? When you were in bed? In bed, yeah. Because he kept saying over and over, I have secrets. I have secrets. I have secrets. And I just begged him to let me in and tell me what they were. Look, some of these questions I'm asking out of pure curiosity from a detective standpoint. Law enforcement needs to learn how these things operate so we can shut down these groups and fight cybercrime. So I never actually saw it on my own Kick app. I only ever saw it on his phone. I would be looking at it and I'd always ask him, where do you even find stuff like that? Why would people put that on Kick, knowing a police officer could be lurking in the chat? Same thing with those unplugs groups. Why on earth would you advertise that? Listen, some of those chat groups had names like truckers or something similar. Okay, if I actually logged into one of those specific groups, what exactly would I find? I honestly have no idea. Okay, I figured the trucker groups were just about lot lizards. Okay, I never imagined it would be anything worse. I love him, but I despise that side of him. Right? How long do you think he's been searching for this stuff? I really don't know. There is so much from the start of our relationship that I just blindly trusted him on. I do know that before we even started dating, he got an exposure charge. I have no idea what that really involved. That is interesting. Yeah, when we first got together, he claimed he just got caught peeing outside. Right? Things usually do not happen quite like that, right? Yeah, do you have any worries about him around your kids? Any concerns he might have taken photos of them? No. And what about you? Have you ever taken photos of them? Just pictures of their diaper rashes? I mean, for gratification purposes? No. Not even when he asked you to? No. Do you have any electronics at home that might hold illegal files? No. Does he own any laptops, gaming computers, external hard drives, or thumb drives? Well, we share one family computer. He doesn't really use it. I mostly just play Disney games on it. What about your Kick account? Have any of your Kick profiles ever been shut down? I only deactivated one of them myself. That was because I actually met up with a guy using my old Kick account. That is why I shut it down. Gotcha. Yeah, I cheated, so I deleted the app entirely. Okay. And that was an adult you met, right? Gotcha. Listen, I want to show you something that your partner and I just discussed. He actually recognized this as a file he personally uploaded onto Kick. I want to see what you can tell me about it. Tell me what you remember about this file. Okay. Wait, what is that? I don't know anything about this. Have you ever seen this specific file before? Not that I can recall, honestly. No. Okay, is this similar to stuff he has shown you in the past? Can we discuss a video? Yeah, I mean, it is basically along those same lines, right? But I have definitely never seen that video. Well, how many times do you think he showed you? I might have asked this already, I don't remember. How many times has he shown you this kind of material before? I would say probably only 5 or 6. Just a handful of times. I asked him about this earlier, and he gave me a pretty similar answer, I think. But you do understand that the trading, the sharing, the viewing, the downloading, the possessing, the distributing, and the producing is wrong on so many different levels. It is highly illegal. You just cannot do it. And you definitely cannot upload it to Kick Right. And every single time those images are shared or viewed or used for gratification, it just continuously creates more and more demand for it. Exactly. It creates more demand. That is something we absolutely never want to see happen. No. Tell me, do you have a cell phone? No, I do not. Are you sure? Yes. Okay, I only have my own normal adult videos. I am not worried about that. Not one bit. Listen, I am not here for any of that legal stuff. I am certainly not the moral police. And this has absolutely nothing to do with some kind of workplace administrative inquiry or anything like that. This is strictly about the illegal material we just discussed. If I were to write up a search warrant to Kik for your account data and his, would I find files being sent back and forth in those private chats? How many times have you talked about this stuff on Kik with other people? Never. What about with him then? With him, maybe a few times. Okay, and what exactly were those conversations about? You can be totally honest with me no matter how graphic or weird it sounds. I might not agree with it, but I understand the reason you gave me. You were just trying to spark some life back into your struggling relationship. Right, but I really need to hear from you what you actually said about those files. I would just say things referring to them, Like, how many times did you send things to him? Can we just stop right here? I really don't want to get him into more trouble. Look, he has already completely confessed and admitted everything. Okay. Listen, you can stop worrying about that part. The guy walked into this interrogation room and told the absolute truth. I won't lie to you about it. He sat right down and laid everything out. No games. No hidden agenda. Completely upfront from minute one. So can we just leave things right there? Well, sure. Look, at the end of the day, I definitely cannot force you to sit here and make specific statements to me. I need to check your mobile device and verify some things. Would you mind handing it over? Just slide it right across the table. All right, you're saying there's no illegal material on this phone? Great, so you have zero problems with me searching this device. All right. Let's pull up your photo gallery right here. There are a few personal pictures of me on it. Look, I don't share or talk about that stuff. I am a grown, married adult. Plus, I have worked in criminal investigations for a very long time. I won't pretend viewing this digital evidence feels normal, but I get it. I'm really not trying to pry into your private life, but I need to ask, are these actually real? Yeah, those are chat logs I screenshotted for my mother and his mom. It shows us fighting, arguing, and constantly going back and forth over this whole messy divorce. I need to show you a few more pieces of evidence. These match exactly what the suspect claims he sent you. I just want to hear what you can tell me about them. Walk me through what you see, what you remember, and whatever details actually look familiar here. This material is a massive deal for our ongoing investigation. For all I know, some victims here are completely unidentified, and you might actually help us uncover critical leads. Honestly, they usually blur together for me. But a few of these files, this one right here is incredibly specific. If I watch this clip, unfortunately, it would probably be burned into my brain for the rest of my life. Yeah, I have definitely watched that one. You actually saw it. Yeah, how positive are you? Completely. Like swear on a Bible? Certain? Yeah, raise your right hand, swear, and affirm under oath that you watch this. Yes. All right. Take a close look. How old is the victim? Probably around maybe 8 years old. Where exactly were you standing when he played that video? I am guessing over on Thunder Road, right? Are you absolutely certain or just guessing? I am fairly positive we were there. This is the exact same clip. Yeah. For some bizarre reason, the guy decided to upload it 2 different times. I really do not know why. And clearly that shows an adult male committing sexual battery. How many illicit files would you say he showed you before pulling that specific one up? Just ballpark it. Very few. But is it fair and totally honest to say he showed you a decent chunk of his stash before revealing that specific video? Honestly, I think what happened was he messaged me a random mega link. That folder just happened to have a handful of different clips packed inside. My bad, totally fine. How many of those mega links did he actually forward to you? I only opened 2 links total. Right? On 2 separate occasions? No, they arrived on the exact same day. Got it. This might sound like a wildly obvious question, but I assume you knew exactly what kind of illegal content was hiding inside those links. Yeah. And if admitting that gets me arrested, look, at this point, it is clearly an active police investigation. I honestly have no idea how this is going to play out. Obviously, I want you to understand, I'm not here to lecture you. I'm not trying to come down on you or act like your dad. But this is completely wrong. It's highly illegal. You simply can't do it. You just can't engage in that kind of criminal behavior. Going forward, the right thing to do is just stay away from it. If you stop that behavior completely, the odds of this ever happening to you again are basically slim to none. If someone shows you this stuff, the right move is to report it. Don't look at it again. You definitely don't look at it multiple times. Click several links and intentionally view it, right? You absolutely can't intentionally possess this in the state of Florida. Okay, look, I understand what happened with him, and obviously he carries a huge chunk of the blame for this. But what law enforcement is really interested in right now is finding the producers. How old do you actually think that person was in the file, man? I really don't know. Just give me a rough guess. A 13, 14. Yeah, 13 or 14. Like I said, man, I definitely wandered into something totally wrong on there. So about that specific file, do you know anything at all about it? Any idea what the name of the chat group was? No, that's the crazy thing. You can just get randomly invited to these groups. You don't even have to know anybody. You can just, I'm going to go ahead and say that you recognize that image. Well, obviously I recognize the type of group. Not that specific image, but you get pulled into a chat and just, yeah, 100%. So why did you upload those files? Huge mistake. Other people were doing it, so I did it. I'm not going to lie to you. Well, I appreciate your honesty. And like I said before, by no means at all. Man, now I'm getting choked up. You're good. Take your time. Take all the time you need. By no means am I, but okay. This is dry. Just making sure. But yeah, it was incredibly stupid to do. There's absolutely no denying it. Honestly, I was just curious. It is done. Hey, I really appreciate you bringing that up. Now let me ask you this next question, because this is extremely important. Because the absolute last thing I want to do as we move down the road, as we wrap up this conversation, is blindside you. There is something called digital contraband, right? And this material is clearly contraband. It would be no different than someone mailing you illegal drugs and us just letting you keep a little bit for yourself. So tell me how much of this is currently on your phone. None. Okay, would you have an issue if we verified that, hey, you don't need to write it down, but what is your phone? Passcode 1289. 1289. Let me see it real quick. I'll hold it real quick. No, we got it. Wait, I just have some pictures on there. Look, here's exactly what we're going to do. So we just continue the conversation. I literally just have private pictures on there. You can see it right there. Okay? I promise I'm being perfectly honest with you. Is there a specific picture on there that you're worried about people seeing me? Well, we aren't interested in that. Look, I might just have pictures of my wife on there. Well, I can assure you that we're extremely professional. No, I'm not saying you aren't. And we would never do that. It's just a personal thing for me. That is it. Yeah. Look, whatever we discuss in this room, we are not sharing your private photos with anyone. So let me just ask you this straight up. Just being direct with you, because the absolute last thing I want is someone painting a bad picture or calling you a liar. You are being completely upfront, and honestly, I appreciate that. So how much illegal stuff is actually on that phone? Oh, I am almost 100% sure there is zero. Okay, so I am assuming you wiped it. Well, yeah. I mean, like I said, I was just curious. Right. Do you have any other electronics stashed in your bag? No. You absolutely sure? Okay, what about out in your car? Like thumb drives or memory cards? Nothing like that in my car. Would you mind if we search the vehicle just to make sure there are no hidden devices? None of my devices, no. Okay, fair enough. That was 12/27 of 2021, right on the way. And that is the exact time reported. But on November 19th, 2021 at 1929 and again at 1930, that file uploaded twice. Why, using your own words, why do something so dumb repeatedly? Like I told you, I was just curious because other people were doing it. I did it. It was just like I saved the video to my device and then just turned around and shared it right back. But yeah, I am not going to lie to you guys. So you have zero issue if we check your phone right now, just to be absolutely sure, not as far as I know, right? Not as far as I... Look, I will say this. You are obviously detained. You are not free to just get up and walk out right now because of this ongoing investigation. No, I am not saying you get to go home. That is not what I mean. Honestly, I do not know what happens next. I do not want to guess. As soon as I know more, I will tell you. Now, about your house, and again, you have been super upfront with us, which helps. I know it is basically human nature to minimize this stuff. Are there any, and I am asking this for your wife's sake and everyone else involved, do you need to talk to someone? Are there any computers or hard drives sitting at your house that might have this illegal material on them? None of the ones that belong to me. No. Okay. Look, these 2 Kick app accounts, I take it you're locked out and done with them? Yeah, like I said, it started as sheer curiosity. Then I just thought, screw it. I am completely finished. I wanted nothing to do with Kick anymore. If we could just get into those chat accounts and track down the people actually producing this stuff full time. Do you remember what your old password was? No. But hey, if you need me to, I can sit down and try to remember it. So no other devices hidden at your house. No, nothing at all. And about this lead right here, oh, sorry. Let me stop you. I have to be direct here. It just took over for a while. I am definitely not proud of it. I feel 100% ashamed. I've been carrying this guilt heavily. Did your wife know about these files or participate at all? Not that I am aware of. Are you totally sure? Yeah, I am. Look, I completely understand the fine line between what is just taboo and what is illegal. Everyone has a line in the sand. Sometimes people cross it. I already know you both joined those Kick groups together. If she was involved, you need to come clean right now. Did your wife ever send a receive, share, distribute, or view this stuff with you? I just feel terrible right now. I will take your silence as a yes. It was a really dark time for us. Our marriage was completely dead, honestly. 0 spark left. And honestly, the sheer taboo of it just brought a tiny thrill back into things. But did she personally upload the files? If I go question her in the next room, what happens? I genuinely cannot tell you that. I will take all the blame. Take all. You already confessed these were your personal Kick profiles. Have you ever actually watched her upload anything, seen her do it? No, absolutely not. Did you 2 watch it together? We might have done that, yeah. Did she introduce the idea or was it you? I wouldn't call it introducing the idea. Like I told you, I randomly got added to this chat group and we were suddenly both just kind of looking at it. All right. When you say you were both there, were you on separate cell phones in the exact same Kick group? Well, we were actually sitting right beside each other when the invite for this one specific chat popped up. It just started playing and pure curiosity dragged us down the rabbit hole. Did she ever produce content, number snap photos of you, number any worries she might have? No, sir, she is a wonderful mother and would never do that. Do you think there is anything on her gadgets? Not that I know of. I cannot access her phone. I just want to circle back here to make my question crystal clear. Have you ever caught her doing it? Stop me if I am misstating this, but you admitted you 2 watched things together. Were you viewing the exact same files I just showed you? No, not from what I can remember. Okay, it was quite a while back. Did you witness her uploading Witness It Number Never? Did she ever confess to doing it? No. Got it. Has she watched you upload anything? I really doubt it. So how exactly did you guys end up watching this stuff together? Like I mentioned, we were literally just sitting on the couch and random users kept dropping links in the chat, right? It was not personal at all. Nobody was directly messaging this stuff to us. Strangers just spammed the chat room. Would you mind if investigators searched the rest of your home electronics to verify your story? Honestly, I do not even own any other tech gadgets myself. All right, besides my main smartphone, I really do not have much else. Do you keep a gaming rig, desktop computer, or laptop at home? Nothing that I currently use, no. I carry my phone. And that is absolutely it. What about your wife? What kind of devices does she use? Just her phone. She probably uses an iPad sometimes. Have you ever secretly recorded anybody? Anyone working or living inside the actual jail facility? No. Like random inmates or people in the showers? No, never. Have you ever filmed prisoners, snapped photos, or digitally recorded any sort of interaction you had with people locked up there? I highly doubt it. Usually when suspects say, "I do not think so," it means yes. Look, I have taken photos of the guard tower before, but never secretly recording the inmates. Just regular pictures to show I am at work, nothing crazy. Okay, I swear I never posted anything showing people detained in that building. Let me abruptly pivot back to the main investigation for a second. While working inside the jail, did you ever share that illegal material? No. With any other staff inside the jail? No. Did you text those explicit images to any coworkers stationed there? Absolutely not. Did you forward them to anyone employed by the local county sheriff's office? No, never. All right. But did you send it to anyone else at all besides anonymous strangers in those chat rooms? No, nobody in my real life. Like I keep saying, I do not. Yeah, understood. I do not personally associate with anyone like that. It is just not my normal crowd, you know? Honestly, detectives rarely see cases where a spouse is actively involved. What exactly were her thoughts on it? If I walked out there and she gave me the total truth, would she admit to enjoying the videos? I cannot say for sure if it was a matter of actually liking the content itself. We did not necessarily like it, but it felt incredibly taboo. It was so wrong. I am definitely not attracted to it, but it had this weird pull. It is so hard to explain to a cop. I am absolutely not out there hurting anyone in the real world. I am completely repulsed by it normally. But just knowing how forbidden and illegal it was gave us a thrill, you know? It is like hooking up in a public parking lot. The rush of potentially getting caught is the whole point. You know it is wrong. How many times did you and your wife actually view these files together? A rough number. I really do not know. Definitely more than a single time. Upwards of 10 times. Maybe, maybe not. So you cannot even put an estimate on it. I really have no clue. Like I said, I have been desperately trying to completely erase that dark chapter from my memory. Well, you need to dig deeper right now. These digital logs show you were highly active on June 27th and 28th of this exact year. Let me ask you this. Since that June date, have you viewed any illicit media inside this house? Not that I can recall. Honestly, no. So between June and today, zero activity. As far as my memory goes, nothing. All right. Why did you purposely wipe those images off your device? Because just like I explained, I know it makes me look like a sick predator. It 100% paints me in a horrible light, and I totally get why you are pushing this. But I swear it was always just a morbid curiosity for me. I cannot explain the psychology behind it. I genuinely do not have an answer. Was it a completely moronic thing to do? Without a doubt. Yeah, it was absolutely the worst mistake I could have possibly made. It is far from a smart move, man. People get curious about all sorts of dark stuff, but there has to be a hard limit. Exactly, there is a massive boundary. Oh, absolutely, I agree with you 100%. And that is why I am willing to offer whatever help the police need. Those specific files I pulled up earlier, did your wife see them, save them, or did you stream them together? Those specific ones I really do not know. From an investigative standpoint, where else besides the Kick app are people sourcing this material? I have no clue. Are there any other hidden websites law enforcement should be targeting to shut down this distribution network besides Kick? How does a person even acquire these files to then re-upload them exactly like you did in this case? How did you obtain the video to send it out? Random people literally just dump links into the group chat. So a stranger posts it. How do you grab it from there? Do you have to click and save? Yeah, you basically just hold your finger down and hit save. I think when the file opens, a tiny arrow pops up. You just tap that arrow to download it, and it dumps right into your phone gallery. Exactly. Okay, so that makes it incredibly easy to redistribute the contraband. Yeah, pretty much. Got it. I feel physically sick sitting here. I must be a total psycho to even touch this stuff. Jesus Christ. Am I going to jail tonight? Probably right here in lockup. For tonight, yes, until we can arrange transport somewhere else. We need to clear it with the jail major, the captain, and coordinate your official transfer out of here. Could I please just wait in this room instead of going back there? We will run that by the supervisors in charge. I would Really appreciate it if you could make that happen. Is there any possible way I can call my wife and tell her I am going to jail? I will call her and let her know. But during the whole booking process at the station, you only get one phone call. I would rather not make you do it up there. That is incredibly embarrassing. In June 2023, Brandon Paul Smolinski received 17 years and 6 months in federal prison for distributing this awful material. But Megan got more time because actually, producing the media creates the original victims. U.S. District Judge Wendy W. Berger handed Megan Ann Evans 21 years and 10 months for creating child exploitation material. She pled guilty on March 1, 2024. But for the actual victims, it is a life sentence. The pure trauma of being photographed, targeted, and exposed never fades. This was never about idle curiosity or failing marriages. This was pure predation. This was active production, a calculated conspiracy to hurt real innocent kids. This entire true crime investigation proves that online predators are not just creepy strangers lurking in alleys. Sometimes they are cops or doctors. Sometimes they are regular suburban mothers. They hide behind completely normal lives while orchestrating unspeakable evil. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. How do we actually protect child safety when abusers hide in plain sight? Hit that like button, subscribe, and definitely share this video around. Spreading awareness is step 1 for prevention. Thanks so much for watching. Stay vigilant and never stop demanding justice. Some stories don't end when the screen fades to black. They stay with us asking quiet, uncomfortable questions. This one reminds us that actions, especially those driven by anger, neglect, or selfishness, always carry consequences that can never truly be escaped. At its core, this story is about responsibility. How the choices we make in moments of weakness can define entire lives. It shows how ignoring empathy, failing to communicate, or allowing darkness to take control can destroy not only others but ourselves. No one is ever free from what they've done. The truth has a way of catching up, whether through the world around us or the weight inside our own conscience. But beyond the tragedy, there is a deeper lesson. Awareness and change are always possible before it's too late. We are reminded to pause, to listen, and to value the people in our lives while we still can. Every relationship deserves care, patience, and understanding. In the end, the most powerful takeaway is simple. Choose compassion over cruelty, honesty over denial, and accountability over escape. Because the life you build is shaped not by what you get away with, but by what you choose to do when it matters most.